All right, Marilyn, buenas. Let's see what we got here. Let's see how we can improve your boudoir ad. So you're running it on IG. I saw you're in Miami. Um, and I have case studies myself showing that I've been able to 2 to 4x the um, number of correct qualified people clicking with and consuming boudoir ads. So I'm going to be going through that with y'all today, see how we can improve this and hopefully get 2 to 4x more paying clients from the same ad spend. But it all starts with getting the correct right people to engage. So the first thing is, you know, I'm looking my standard 10 most common boudoir photography mistakes. That's what I'm going through, and we'll start here with the first one. So does this look like an ad? So someone's scrolling. So it's on IG only. So this is probably a feed um, or a reel if you did auto add music to it. Does this look like an ad? Mm, Normally the text on the screen is yes, but this text is so small that people would consume this. Yeah, so normally text on the screen is the dead giveaway, but this kind of looks like could be an IG story post, honestly. So I think, you actually sneak by in that one. So not a mistake there. The second one is kind of some more words. See more headline we would put up at the top um, because that allows us to bring the correct people in, and it's kind of like the 4 specific attributes we want to have in the see more headline is we want to have a who, like a label, a negative, a positive, and a kind of like a hesitation or objection or a roadblock. Now you're doing IG only. Um, okay, so how do we do this? Well, the see more headline we would actually put in the text box here. So we're missing a who, like who are we speaking to? Because the problem is, all right, so this is what I did, and I see a lot of early marketers doing this, which is, do you want solution? Buy solution. And yeah, that's what all marketers starting out kind of do. And that's until we're like, oh man, this is not working as good as I hoped it would. And that's because when there's more than one competitor or more than one person in the market offering the solution, um, we have to get specific. So if you're the only one in Miami, we could say, do you want boudoir? Book boudoir session by DMing me. No specificity needed. Anyone that knows about boudoir and wants boudoir, maybe they heard about it from some other city. Maybe this is before we had cell phones or internet or something. Like, I want boudoir, and like, you're the only one offering it. They're like, all right, I'm taking that. I'm taking your offer. But because we got more than one competitor in Miami, Miami is actually kind of, from my research, I think is the second most competitive with boudoir after New York City. We got to get specific. So yeah, that's kind of where the who we want to label for who. So we're missing that. So we're just less qualified people are coming through. And we want to be talking about a negative, what women want to move away from to, kind of what's going on in their lives they want to move away from, and that our solution, boudoir photography, provides. And we always want to lead with the negative because human psychology moves away from pain like at 100x more than towards pleasure. So example, if we get done with the dentist, we're leaving, final secretary lady's trying to book us for our next appointment. It's like, are you free 4 p.m.? Um, you know, 43 Thursdays from now. And I'm like, dude, I have no clue. Just text me sometime later. And they text us, the 6 month mark. We ignore their 3 or 4 autoresponder texts. 9 months, we ignore them again. A year, ignore them. And finally, a year and a half, 2 years, we got our tooth starts to hurt when we're eating and when we're sleeping. We got something wrong with our tooth. So we're calling them up like, dude, what do you mean you can't get me in tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m.? What do you mean you're booked? My tooth is hurting. When are you available? And then, they're booked, so you're calling other dentists. So pain is the biggest motivator for all of moving away from pain and just getting back to baseline. That is the biggest action motivator of all humans. So that's why we want a negative in there. Next, we want a positive. We're missing a positive here. And positive be like, what what's a woman saying in Miami saying in her brain that she wants that our solution can provide her? And no, boudoir photography is not a positive. It's a solution. Boudoir session is a solution. It's not a positive. They get something out of boudoir photography. What do they get? So we're missing that positive. So again, kind of missing these specific attributes. We're not calling in specific people, which means when we have to send message, the conversations are, we're getting more unqualified conversations. So I guess technically, yeah, we're getting more conversations. They're unqualified, more time wasters, more people that ain't got any money, more people comparing because we haven't got specifics, so they don't know we're specifically for them and their situation and what they're thinking, what they want. So we're missing out on that. Fewer book calls, more people with no money, more people flaking, ghosting on the book calls. Gotta get more discounts, more leeway on the price. And that's all from, not having these specific attributes. And the final one would be like hesitation or roadblock, what someone's saying in their brain that's stopping them from moving forward and doing a boudoir shoot, or maybe it's something like they're talking with some other boudoir photographers in Miami, but they all do X or they lack X, and we do it. Our solution is different, so we don't even need to deal with X. Like we don't rent hotel rooms, something like that. And we gotta test and find the best ones that resonate most with the women in Miami. So that's the Seymour headline, kind of getting super specific to get people to read our ad body copy, but we don't even have any ad body copy here. So we're missing the ad body copy. We're missing, the Seymour headline is basically the hook. So we hook them in, get them to click Seymour, read, and after that, we want to have some authority at the top of the ad copy after clicking the see more button to read the rest of our ad copy, because that kind of gives them a reason to keep reading, which, I said my authority at the beginning of this video, give you a reason to keep listening. And then we want to have a narrative, a story. So the Seymour headline is to meet the women in their brain with what they're saying to themselves. Then we want a narrative or a story, which is basically like us video camcording their life and what they're doing, what's going on, like kind of that negative situation. So that people are saying, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And oh my God, that's my life. Kind of hit them with a 1-2 punch. And third, we want to have our full offer here. So people come in super pre-qualified. We got the 1-2 punch and they want our offer. They know exactly what the offer is and they do want it, because all this stuff helps the Facebook ads algorithm tighten on the kind of the type of women or kind of the attributes, specific data points they have on their meta profile that our ad should go to get us better results, and basically be more efficient with our ad spend. The final two mistakes I see is we want to have no below creative headline. So where it says pin me up photography on the bottom left, do not want that. Do not want a button, because these things make 20% because it makes it look more like an ad, so people kind of scroll through. without consuming our see more headline or our ad copy. But 80% more is because people click the button without reading our stuff getting pre-qualified. That's a wasted click and really, really hurts our ads, hurts our longevity of the ad. But I know with the objective you're using, you actually cannot take away or hide the button. So there are ways to kind of work with this. And 10th and final potential mistake would be the objective. Now, basically every time someone's using send message button, they're using the wrong objective. So yeah, I'll give you half a mistake here. And that's because you're probably going to people that DM. They have data points of DMing on their meta profile, so that's why our ads went to them. But very few have data points of actually buying, pulling out the credit card and buying. We want our ads to go to the meta profiles that buy, spend money. So that is a completely different objective. So I'll give you half a mistake on this one because, yeah, I don't really know. So out of the top 10 most common mistakes, you are making, let's see, 8.5 of them, which is, yeah, pretty close to average. 7.5 out of 10 is the average from the ads I've seen. So that just means, you know, churn and burn ads, that's going to die out fast, bad results, what the heck's going on? Unqualified, lots of unqualified peeps coming in. And so, um, you know, more unqualified conversations, more people ghosting the conversations, more people asking for a price straight up, more people ghosting once they hear price, fewer people booking calls, more people ghosting the calls that they booked, more people flaking, more people trying to get discounts on the calls if they do show up. You got to get discounts, try to convince, blah, blah, blah. Because there's so many boudoir photographers in Miami. We did not get specific. We did not feel like it's specific. You're specifically for them and you're the only option for them. That's what getting specific means. It basically turns you into a market of one. Turns you back into Miami if there's only one boudoir photographer, or everyone has to go to you. So here's how I can fix these ads. So out of the 10 mistakes, okay, you're at 8.5 out of 10. I classify anything that is more than 2 out of 10 of the top 10 most common mistakes as a broken down boudoir Facebook ad, like a broken down car. So where do we bring a broken down car? Bring it to the mechanic. So yeah, I got a boudoir Facebook ads mechanic offer where I can solve these problems for you. But now I shrink them down from like 10 mistakes to 5 kind of overarching problems. 1, does it look like an ad? Well, you don't have that problem. Yours is actually fine, so can't solve that one. 2, we need to see more headline to speak specifically to people. Okay, so that's, one problem I can solve. 3, we need ad copy that really, really pre-qualifies peeps. Yes, I can solve that. Make that much better. 4, get rid of the below creative headline and button. Well, I can get rid of the below creative headline, not the button though, because this mistake. So 2.5 mistakes, and last mistake would be the objective. Um, so that's another half mistake because I don't know. Just most likely you're using the wrong objective. I can set it up where these ads actually go to buyers. You're gonna have fewer conversations, but they're gonna be way more qualified. So I said that's 2.5 plus half, so 3 out of 5 mistakes. Now I charge, so I got 2 options. Option 1 is I charge $50 per mistake I fix per ad. So you just got this one ad, so I could fix all your mistakes for $150, or you can pick and choose however many mistakes you want to have solved or fixed. Option 2 is kind of the better deal, whereas I'll work with you on a monthly basis to create and fix and optimize and do correctly with a much better chance of getting more high-paying boudoir clients. $100 a month, I'll create as many ads as you want for you, and you can collab with me as little or as much as you want for your input on the ads. And yeah, $100 a month. So as many ads as you want, optimized, um, created, optimized, tested, and dude, even this ad, 100% guaranteed. I can make the front end metrics of this way better. AKA, that means we're pulling in more people who are more specific, AKA they're more qualified. And the goal is to 2 to 4x the results from the ad spend you're already spending um, with my fixes, my tweaks, my process. So I can definitely guarantee front end metrics will be way better. I cannot guarantee the 2 to 4x increase in you know buyers from doing it, but I can definitely guarantee front end metrics will be way, way, way better. And yeah, normally it correlates better front end metrics to better sales, but I can't guarantee, you know, two to, 4x sales from the same ad spend. But I guarantee I can make these ads way better. Um, and we'd see that in the front end metrics. So if you want either of those offers, yeah, you got my phone number. Um, call me up, or you got my email. Email me or DM me. Whatever platform you see this on. Tell me you want in. And yeah, that's everything for now. Adios.